Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. In this video, we're looking at a Walmart survival kit that I built. And basically the question I'm asking is, can you build a legitimate, helpful, useful survival kit from Walmart alone if you go shopping nowhere else? My answer is yes. So let's take a look at the kit. I'll walk you through each of the items and then you can decide for yourself if you would trust this kit in a wilderness survival situation. All right, so here's a look at the kit. Let me start off with a couple basics. First off, all the kit items are gonna go into this bag right here. They fit into this jumbo size hefty bag. Now, the reason I chose this is because you can seal it up, obviously, and keep the rain out. Also, if you needed to take all that stuff out and have something to carry a bunch of water, you could use this, this bag. So I'm gonna go through all these items on the table. Then I'm gonna show you some items that I looked into, but then decided against because of size, cost, maybe just overall functionality. So let me start in this corner. We've got a couple items for fishing. So I've got some rigged twirl tails, which you can see here. And then a rooster tail, one of my favorites of all time as far as for fishing. So if you're stuck out in the woods for a long time and there's water around, this is gonna at least give you a shot of catching fish. Just because you have fishing line and some lures or even some worms doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to catch stuff. So just a heads up on that. I also got some 8-pound test spider wire. So I did get some feedback in other kits that people said, hey, you should use spider wire as opposed to just generic fishing line. So that's why I went with this 220 yards. So that's another form of cordage in addition to what you see right here, which is bright orange paracord. 550 cord, it's 50 feet, 7-strand, 100% polyester, and that bright orange so that, you can see it when you're out in the woods in case it's, it's easier to catch your attention with something like bright orange. So I got some cordage here and some cordage here as well. Next up, let's talk about powering up your phone. So I have the Juice On. This is good for 1 extra charge. This is a larger one. This is good for 3 extra charges. And then I have an extra cord. So you might think if you're going out hiking, oh, I'll just throw my iPhone cord in the bag. But if you forget it, even if you have a battery pack, you can't connect the two and therefore you can't charge it. So I think it's great to throw an extra cord into your emergency kit and just leave it there. Don't ever touch it. Don't use it for anything else, just for your survival kit or emergency kit. You can choose if you want to get 1 or 2. Obviously, this is going to run you more, or 3 charges or 1 charge, I should say. This is going to run you less. This is going to run you more. It's heavier, but obviously you get multiple charges out of it. So this is for powering up my phone. Going over here, I've got just a clear poncho, and let me show you the container or the box that it comes in. So there's the box, nothing fancy. It is by UST, and yeah, I mean it's a basic thing. It's going to keep some water off of you. You can see the dimensions on the back, 40 by 50. You could certainly also use this for a form of covering as well if you wanted to set it up like a tarp or something like that. Now, in addition to that, I have an emergency blanket. Here's the box. There's the blanket. These are huge. If you don't have one of these in your survival kit, you should definitely have one. You can turn that into some sort of, tarp shelter as well. And I've done a test, and outside temperature to the temperature right next to my body when I was sitting out in the cold with this wrapped around me, 30 degrees difference. So definitely nice to have one of these in your kit. They're super inexpensive. Unless you get to the really high grade ones, just the generic one is nice because they're lightweight. Throw it into a kit. And even medical folks, when they're dealing with somebody who's going into shock, they'll wrap them up with one of those. So emergency blanket, that's going to be a key item for any survival kit. I want to move the spider wire here and show you. This is from Outdoor Products, and it is a tarp. So it's a 5x7 tarp, a little bit smaller than I might like, but super compact like this. It's got grommets in it. It's water resistant. You can also get one of the generic tarps you can pick up at Walmart, and they're a little bit bigger as far as, a big square, like may say a 4x6 or a 5x8, and then you can slide that down the back of your backpack. I just wanted to try something different. So this one, we'll check it out and see what we think about it. There you can see information on the size of it. Water resistant, uses a ground cloth or an emergency shelter, and it comes with a pouch. Your standard, low cost tarp is a great option to have something like that in your kit. Definitely don't commit to I'm just going to have a little dinky plastic bag as your tarp. A full-fledged tarp to make a shelter is just leaps and bounds beyond using a garbage bag. Obviously, garbage bag, last moment, last ditch, yeah, great. But if if you're building a kit, definitely plan on some sort of legitimate tarp covering. So that's part of my covering there. Now, working over this way, I've got 4 tent stakes. Those were like 99 cents each. Definitely worth the investment. Save time, lightweight, put up a shelter quite easily between the tarp, the cordage, and that. Now I chose these for my gloves. There are mechanics gloves and some higher grade gloves, like leather ones. But I just thought, for a survival kit, these will definitely keep your hands warmer than having them exposed. They're actually quite good. They've got some grip there, bright neon there, which is nice. And these were like, $5 or $6 as opposed to paying 25 or 20 bucks for a set of gloves. So I chose those. I've also got a hat here. This is a mossy oak hat, obviously bright orange to get somebody's attention. You might see this and say, okay, well, for my winter kit, yeah, but I'm telling you, like spring and fall are some of the most dangerous seasons because people go unprepared into the woods. So having a hat, having gloves, having something to warm you up, just a major win when you head out into the woods, especially in the spring and fall. Underneath the hat, I've got two 55-gallon drum liners, big, hefty, strong ones. Those slip into the back of your pack really easily. Use it as a ground cloth. You can use it as like maybe you're using your poncho and you give this to somebody else for a poncho. Use it to collect things. So great to have a couple of those lightweight, low cost investment, but big return there. So I'll put these down here like this. A couple of the hand warmers over here. I think I've got 4 total. Yeah, so 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Great to have those to warm up. Do you want to make a fire? Yeah, I would make a fire in a survival situation, but quick, easy way to warm up. If your hands are chilly, your feet are chilly. Red bandana, tons of different uses for a bandana. Medical uses, signaling uses, carrying items. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Bandana is great to have. Working my way back over here, you can see I've got the Sawyer, like the syringe plunger thing. I've got the straw, I've got the actual Sawyer filter, and then I've got the squeeze, basically container there. I think a Sawyer is a great investment for a survival kit. Yeah, you got to pay closer to 30 or 35 bucks, but it's way easier than trying to get water, boil water, add tablets to water, all those types of things. I mean, it's just way more work to do that than to boom, put the straw on that, stick it into a stream, and then, 99% plus of the nasties are going to get taken out. Plus, you can carry it in this as well. So you've got a way to carry water and to have immediate access to water that's clean just by using your Sawyer water filter. That's one of my top 5 items. Rather than going through all the hassle of the other things you can do, just get a Sawyer water filter. I would choose that even over a life straw, just because the process, there's multiple options. You can flush that out multiple times. You can put that right in the water. You can store water in there. Just gives you more versatility. Now moving over this way, you can see I've got 2 things of mixed nuts. I've got a huge Payday king size candy bar there. I've got beef jerky there. That's all obviously food. It's going heavy on proteins and fats to keep you going. Obviously, you could throw carbs in there as well if you wanted something, a little bit that's got higher levels of carbs as opposed to just protein. I put the gum in because it's just nice to have something that's a little bit sweet and tastes nice when you're out in the woods. It's a tiny little item. You could even put just like a couple pieces of that in there in order to have that in your pack. Now here's another option. If you don't like the standard beef jerky, I looked at these like old Wisconsin snack sticks. Again, like this is a little bit heavier than that. Got some sodium, you got some protein, but pick what you like and throw some food into your kit. The other thing you can see over here is this, which is one of those like loaf tins, and I basically just crushed it up. I've used this in a video I did on like a Walmart bug out bag I made, and I actually like boiled water in here, cooked some food in here. It's nice to have this as a backup option if you want to cook something. If you do, like say your filter breaks or you drop it, now you've got another option for boiling water. As I said before, that's clearly my number 1 option for water, but here's a backup option. These are super, look how thin that is. Just throw it into your pack, super lightweight. Now you can cook or boil some water. All right, up to the top corner here, you can see I've got some Repel, obviously to keep the bugs away. They are just such a pain in the summer, and especially if you're lost in a survival situation, it's nice to have something to keep them away. Got about 10 zip ties, just for various uses. I've got a Costa flashlight, the G20 right there. So the G20 is a basic but solid flashlight. I went with this one this time because I wanted to mix it up. I almost always go with a headlamp, and so I thought, let me try something a little bit different. So this one's going to give you some nice light, super lightweight. I've got 10 extra batteries. So yeah, just mixing it up. In general, a headlamp is going to be my preferred option for a survival kit. But the nice thing about this is just like slide that down the side of your the bag that the kit is in, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now you can see right over here where I shine the light, I got another cheap headlamp. I just got that one to try it out. Nice to have a backup, especially for light, right? So in general, I would throw like this type of light in and then a headlamp. I got that one just to test out, but in general, I would go with something a higher grade. So a headlamp and a flashlight, and then definitely extra batteries. Up at the top, you can see I've got chapstick and some Advil as well. Some people say, well, are you going to bring something like some anti-diarrhea pills or, Band-Aid, stuff like that? I've got duct tape, which I'll show you in a minute, or Gorilla Tape, I should say. If I've got a wound, I can cover that up with Gorilla Tape, and I'm good for a couple days. Like, yes, long-term, I don't want to do that, but if I'm in a survival situation, I want to be getting out in 2 days, 3 days max, and so I can deal with a wound with some Gorilla Tape at that point. I will say, if you can find, this is Walmart, right? If you can find a tourniquet, always great to throw a tourniquet into your kit, but not available at the Walmarts around me, at least. Right here, I've got 2 needles, and obviously you could repair something with that. You can clean out a cut, or if you get like a thorn or something in your skin. And so I've just got these wrapped up with some Gorilla Tape so I don't stab myself. So those are that. Then I've got a couple other items. I'll talk about the Swiss Army in a minute. I do have this whistle. Now, there were a couple other whistles there, but I've actually used this one, and I found that it works quite well. The compass is kind of a bonus here. The thermometer on the back is kind of a bonus. I do think it's nice to know what the temperature is if you're outside, just to be able to kind of measure that. But the whistle actually worked quite well, and so I went with this one. This one also has, you also have this magnifying glass as well. I do, this is one of those items in addition to the headlamp where I'm like looking back at it, I'm like, probably would have gone with a nicer one there and a nicer whistle here. The ones I saw weren't great, but they did have a slight upgrade from this. But I wanted to give this one a shot. In general, I would go with something nicer than this. We do have 2 lighters there, which will be great for starting fire. I also have one of these, so a magnesium bar with a fire steel or, a ferro rod built in. And then my knife option. So I went with a Swiss Army for this. Now let me just open up the different blades to show you what we actually have. Some people in a survival situation are saying, I definitely want a fixed blade. And in general, I would agree with you. We got an awl on the back here too. And we got this an awl. It just rips my nails apart when I take it out. But let me see if I can get it. So here's all your tools for your Swiss Army knife. You also have tweezers and then a toothpick there. Now I went with this instead of a larger blade because you can get a multi-tool and then you can get a large fixed blade. But again, I'm thinking if I'm out in the woods, I probably am carrying a knife on me anyhow if I'm out hiking. Now I've got an additional knife with a couple tools. If you want to go with a Leatherman or a Gerber multi-tool, you can certainly do that as well. I just think this is a great little Swiss Army knife. Lots of functionality in this little item. So there's that. I looked around at Walmart for a while for various knife and multi-tool options. Let me tell you one I don't recommend is this one right here. The Ozark Trail multi-tool. I used this in a video one time. And after minimal use, this thing broke on me. So I do not recommend this Ozark 12-in-1 multi-tool. Here's a lower cost fixed blade. This is from Camillus, titanium bonded, titanium stainless steel, full tang lanyard hole. Looks pretty slick, costs you about $10. 9.5 inch drop point, you can see on the end there. I haven't tested this thing out. I got it and then thought, nah, I'm gonna stick with the Swiss Army. So maybe you could use this. It looks like it's pretty generic, but it could work okay. But yeah, there's another fixed blade option. And then I just picked this up. This would be one I would go with if I wanted to go with a fixed blade. So the Gerber Prodigy, solid knife. It's got a good reputation. It works well. I had one of these, I think, in all black a while ago. But I do like the kind of coyote tan and the black blade. It does come with a nice sheath. As you can see, that is a large blade. So that's not something I'm just going to throw in a pack and leave, for all time. That's why I think a Swiss Army is going to be a better option for me. But if you wanted a survival knife, a fixed blade that you can use more aggressively, this is one that Walmart sells, and I definitely think that's a solid option. So here's my fire starting options: 2 Bic lighters. Now I got the other one. I got the magnesium and the fire steel as well. But Bic lighters are awesome, and they're wrapped with Gorilla Tape all over there. So lots of Gorilla Tape. And then I got these fire starter cubes. These are for like starting a fire or getting your grill going, your charcoal grill going. But I put 3 of these in. They're quite large, so you could use part of it, you could use all of it, but 3 of those in a kit. And again, pretty compact when you put that into the hefty bag, that jumbo Ziploc bag I had. Quick look here at the Duraflame Fire Start cubes. That's what they actually look like. So yeah. So I was going to go as far as carrying this in one of these bags, the largest one with the light blue zipper there, but just too small. Still too small to fit all this gear. If I want more compact, I could certainly use this, but I got it. And then when I started looking at the gear, I'm like, no, that's not going to work. So then I thought about this one, which is a rugged case made by Outdoor Products. It's watertight. You can, put a carabiner on or something. It's really slick, but again, that's going to take up a lot of space in a backpack. And again, it did not fit all the items. So that's why I went with that large plastic bag instead. Now, one thing you might see missing here is a metal container to carry water in. Well, I've got this thing to carry water in. I have a bag that the beef jerky is in. I could carry water in that. I've got these large plastic bags. I could carry water in that. Yes, I could boil water in that. I did look around for like a metal canteen type item. But then I thought to myself, you know, again, if I'm out hiking, I probably got a water bottle with me. If not, that is certainly an item. If you thought, well, I want to throw a metal water bottle in, I could definitely see that thumbs up on that idea right there. So like I said at the beginning of the video, these are items I would put into like a legitimate, yes, it's useful, yes, it could actually help you survival kit from Walmart. What do you like? What would you change? Let me hear your thoughts and feedback. I'd like to get out and test these things at some point. My work schedule is just really busy now. A bunch of our staff have left, and so I'm picking up some other pieces around. But hopefully sometime in the future I can give these guys a full hands-on experience and get out there into the woods to test them out. Let's hear your thoughts and your feedback on this kit, and we'll get the discussion started in the comment section. All right, guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.